Hey guys. Hey, how you guys doing? Good to see y'all here. Wow. Wow. Hey, fantastic response, guys. I'm so happy to see all of you here. Um, we're going to have a fantastic evening. I've got a special guest. I went camping last week, and unfortunately, I haven't gotten my report out on the group yet. I'm sorry, so sorry about that. Um, Shame on me, but I'll get it in. Hey, this shizzle. All right. Um, let's see. Yes. Well, I'll just give you a little brief overview. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry you missed it too. We did have a great time. Um, our camp out was at Heart's Content Campground up in the Allegheny National Forest. We had a fantastic time. And yes, there was possible Bigfoot activity. There was also possible other paranormal activity. Hey, Tara, possible ghosts, orbs, don't know. But I took a ton of photos. I don't know if Tara, you probably took photos too. So whenever you get a chance, post your photos in the group. I'll get mine. I'll get mine in there. But yeah, I'll just tell you right now what happened. The first day I went in there in the camp, I went in there on Wednesday, the day before the camp out officially started, because I wanted to get a jump on things and hopefully get some activity, because the campsite that I went to was rumored to be the one that received the most activity. And apparently a lot of people would camp in that spot and then leave in the middle of the night in total terror. Campsite number 12. Nothing happened to me. I saw possible movement back in the forest behind the campsite. But other than that, really nothing untoward happened. But I received a report from other campers. There was a Boy Scout troop that had come for their camp out in the group camp right above us, in the field above us. They were Troop 161 from Indiana, the state of Indiana, huge group. And three of the boys came down to my campsite. They saw my sign that I always put out front, Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. And they came down to the campsite, and they had full of questions. Very, very intelligent boys, young teens, maybe 13, 14, 15 years old, and just great questions. And whenever I asked them if they had ever experienced anything, two of the boys looked at each other and they said, well, the night before, Tuesday night, they heard something walking in the woods behind their tents. And I questioned them on it, just to make sure it wasn't a deer, something quadrupedal, nothing, that it wasn't an animal on four legs. And they said, no, it was something on two legs, the way that it walked. They said that it would take a couple steps and then stop as if it was looking around and listening. and then take a few more steps and stop and listen, and it moved on. Well, apparently one of the boys looked out of his tent and saw something. He said he couldn't make out details, but he said it was about 8 foot tall. He said the following morning that he, was able to see the trees where it was standing and estimated 8 foot. So take that as you will. Also, the following morning, after they told the scoutmasters, the scoutmasters had them all move their tents forward into the fields, away from the wood line. So, again, take that for what it's worth. But after that, I told them, tell your scoutmasters, I would be happy to come up and do a presentation. And one of the scoutmasters came down after them, as a matter of fact, because it was about the storm. And I spoke to her, or it must have been the wife of one of the scoutmasters. And I offered it again. I said, if you want me to, I am happy. I would very happily come up and speak, do a presentation, answer any questions that anyone may have, and as best as I could, and help them out. But never heard anything from them. So, oh well. It would have been a huge opportunity. It would have been fantastic if they would have, but they didn't. But the scoutmasters helped me out on Wednesday afternoon also, because I was in a van and the campsite was extremely muddy, and I was trying to turn and get situated a little bit more evenly on a level area, and it got stuck. So two of the scoutmasters came down and pushed me back, pushed me out of the mud hole. So thank you, Troop 161, Boy Scouts 161 out of Indiana. I am forever grateful. So, hey, Patty, good to see you made it home safe and sound. Let's see let me check my notes here, see if I have any. I have nothing, really no announcements. There are a bunch of festivals coming up. I have a list of them in the group. Just look in the events section. I will not be speaking at any of the festivals this year. I backed out of all of the invitations that I had received. I have to call one of them back. We're playing phone tag, and I'm trying to get in touch with them to let them know that I will not be able to attend the festival, but it is what it is. So, that will also go for the Tennessee Wildman Festival. I'm not scheduled to speak there, but I had purchased a ticket, a VIP ticket to attend. I will not be able to attend, so I am offering my ticket for sale at the same price I paid for it, $50. I wish I could give it away. Unfortunately, I can't. But if you're interested in attending the Tennessee Wildman and Cryptid Festival, that's August 16, contact me, and we will arrange everything. Okay, well, tell you what, guys, I think that's about it for me and all of my announcements. So right now, I will bring our guest on. I don't know if all of you may not be familiar with him, but he has appeared on Discovery Channel on some of the what is it, Monsters and Mysteries in America. He's been on Small Town Monsters documentaries. I don't know. He's been on numerous podcasts. Um, he helped me out. He and his team helped me out so much, and I'm forever grateful to him and his team. Both he and Fred Saluga, who you've already met, for helping me out, guiding me through some of the little pitfalls at the beginning, and they continue to help me out, and I am really so grateful. Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, so let's bring on Brian SEECH of Center of Unexplained Events and Center for Cryptozoological Studies. And thank you, Brian.
Hello.
Hi. So, Brian, okay, it's like we've got a couple of things in here. Brian, yeah, Kurt says, Brian, good to see you. What you're doing. Yeah, Kurt, you're right. Brian's a great guy, full of information. Brian, can you?
And I guess, right?
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about your history and what got you into this? And just go on from there.
Sure. How we started? Is that what you?
Yes, please.
So basically, I grew up in the '70s. I grew up with all the like In Search of, Boggy Creek, Mysterious Monsters. So I was always interested in that stuff. Um, Always interested in UFOs, monsters. People know I'm a big Marvel fan. I liked your Hulk at the very beginning. I meant to tell you, and I'm a big geek as far as that kind of stuff is. But so basically, I was into UFOs first, and then I started to buy the magazines in the '70s, and the magazines started to have like a UFO Bigfoot correlation. A lot of the magazines, like UFO Report, and official UFO things like that, they would have saucers and Bigfoot connected, Bigfoot and this, and then I watched the documentaries, and I think it was in 1980. I was looking at the Beaver County Times, and I saw there was a Bigfoot sighting in Johnstown, PA, and it had a picture of the print. I still have that, and that just got me into it. And then I met my wife, and found out that she was interested. We got married, and then a year after we got married, we in 1986 we formed the group here, Center for Unexplained Events. We're going to be celebrating our 40th year next year, and we're pretty proud of that. And basically, we're a group. Q itself is a group that researches everything from portals to ghosts to UFOs and cryptids. But we moved our cryptid research into CCS, Center for Cryptozoological Studies, in 2012. So it's actually a good thing we did. We're getting more since we did that. We get more cryptid reports because and I tell people we're not just a Bigfoot group. We never have portrayed ourselves. We're one of the few groups out there that'll go after a winged entity report, a Dogman report, which it looks like we're going to be talking to a possible eyewitness here on Friday about that in Beaver County. So we've been trying to track this one down for a while. So we may get double eyewitnesses on this. We're not sure. So it's one of those things you get excited, but until it actually happens,
Yeah.
So we do it all. And as you know, Mary, we have our S files, which we collect all kind of what do you call it? All kind of newspaper articles, back issues of magazines, books. We've had gentlemen like Jody Cook and Dr. Paul Johnson, who's our mentor.
Yeah.
Fred, just a lot of people donate some of their old stuff to us, and there's some stuff in there you just can't find. And we've had Small Town Monsters actually filmed up there for a West Virginia episode, Mountain State Monsters. And they were pretty impressed with what we had, because we tell people it's like a passion and a lifestyle for us. I mean, when we're not on an investigation, I'm talking to an eyewitness, or we're going to use bookstores, or we're looking up stuff, or we're on the internet. It never really ends. You might not see us at as many events as you have, but it doesn't mean we're still not out there working. Actually, I don't want to say we're moving away from the Bigfoot field, but we're doing a little bit less in the public Bigfoot field. We'll never probably put Bigfoot until I die. Unless I see one, Mary. If I see one, that might be it.
One of these days.
I hope.
Yeah. So tell us. I don't know what the feedback is, but coming back pretty bad. Sorry about that, guys. Tell us about what. Well, you said that you're going to be celebrating the 40th year.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So go into a little bit of your past investigations, and it doesn't matter what, if it's Bigfoot or ghosts or UFOs. What interests you the most?
It interests me the most is probably is the cryptids in general, not just Bigfoot. Like I said, we're one of the few that we take winged entity.
Ooh. Uh oh. Rose up.
Oh, okay. And we take the dog. We'll take the reports that not everybody else does. Now you even helped us with the we call it a shimmering predator type entity report. We got that thanks to you from your group. Okay. And I did talk to the gentleman, and that was at Raccoon Creek State Park, not very far from here.
Yeah.
And, we just call. I mean, we've got like 2 other reports. We've got like 3 reports of, again, some call it like Glimmer Man. We call it shimmering predator type, because when you say the movie Predator, people know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can see through, but you can see the outline of the creature, or whatever it is, the alien, whatever these things are. And they're rare, but you know what? If you start looking, they're out there, and more people are talking about it. Doesn't make sense. A lot of stuff we do doesn't make sense. A lot of this stuff's not supposed to be out there, and we'll be the first to say that, especially the dogman phenomenon. I mean, it's some people think that the dogmen are just another form of Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of disagree with that, because if you put drawings of both of them up, Bigfoot looks ape-like,
yes,
and dogman looks canid-like, almost like, I hate to say it, almost like a werewolf. And I always have to say that word, but I hate saying it, because I don't think they're werewolves. I don't think people are changing into it. I don't know what this phenomenon is, but if I'd have to guess with that, maybe some kind of interdimensional phenomenon. I'm not sure. And I just don't know, and that's what we do tell people. I say that a lot in my presentations. I say, we just don't know a lot of this. And
it's true. We don't. But we're all learning. That's why we're in it. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing now.
Okay, yeah, we're actually in a holding pattern on several things. We're trying to get to go on a property in eastern Ohio that has alleged Bigfoot activity. It's for a friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
We thought we were going last week, but something happened. You know how that works. You set something up. So we're doing that, and also another report and we've been tracking this one down for a while. We just can't get with the witness and 4 other people who saw this. We can't even say it's a Bigfoot. It's a big dark mat. Like, it looks like kind of like a Bigfoot, but it's all dark. It's no fur. It almost looks like it had no fur, and it's got big red eyes. And I'm gonna have to retry to contact the eyewitness. It's just like it's frustrating, because we should have had 2 or 3 more investigations, but it's just moving at a snail's pace. What usually happens with that is once we get one, then we're doing 2 or 3 at a time. So that's what's kind. We did an investigation last weekend at Livermore, in Livermore Cemetery.
Yeah.
Which actually below it is the West Penn Trail, and I'm sure you've been there. You've heard about it.
Yep.
This was our third investigation actually back there. First time since I think 2017 or 18, and we did this. Jamie and Jenny did the CSETI protocol. We did that, and we with my night vision looking up, we saw a bunch of satellites. Okay, we saw some lights that did not look like satellites. You know, satellites usually go in a steady. Some of them were going down, some of them going up, and then some of them had these weird colors to them. And one people that were there, they caught one of them on camera. So hopefully, if that episode will come out, I'll let everybody know about that. We'll see how good it came out. And also, Dave and Carrie Rupert were there, and Dave has a really good night vision, and he heard something in the woods, which would have been actually right down from the cemetery, right there on the first bridge. And he has a really good night vision. I mean, he paid a lot of money for it. Unfortunately, he couldn't catch anything, but he heard it. I thought I heard something, but again, we didn't see it, so we don't know what it was. So again, it's interesting. I love that place. I love Livermore. I mean, it's a weird place. It's a hard place to research because you got the Conemaugh River and it floods and it flooded, right? And the water was extremely high, and a lot of the areas that were woods, they were flooded. I don't know why it floods as much as it does. I don't know, but it floods a lot. And
well, it's near Johnstown. So.
Yeah, that's true. I think it is down from Johnstown. I think. Yeah. And Dave did some drone footage. And really good, and that'll show you that I'm like, man, if there's something, there's got to be something here. It's just a lot of it's inaccessible, just heavily wooded. There are some houses back that way, but a good chunk of it's nothing. So if someone wants to hide in there and stays hidden until nighttime, I think it can stay there. I really do. Whatever the being is, or whatever the creature may be.
Wow. Hey guys, if you have any questions, please put it all in capitals in the comment, and I'll put it up on screen. Tell us a little bit more about your UFO research.
Yeah, we've been doing a project now for about 4 or 5 years now. I kind of lost count, but it's been going real slow. We call it LAE. Light Anomaly Exploration. You actually gave us one of the reports in it. So we basically have a frequency machine which we use, and we try to record all the data, including space weather in general, to see, and then send out certain frequencies at a time period to see if we can get any interaction. And we did it again on last week, but we only did one solid half hour, but nothing. We didn't see anything in the sky when it was projecting. And we did a couple other things. My wife used a singing bowl. We actually even used like a dog whistle on top of the bridge. Okay, it's a dog whistle. I know they don't go far, but it was funny. Like I was in the woods doing it. And so Livermore is like up on the hill, and then right next to it is a farm with cows. And they were joking. They said, "You use the dog whistle." And these cows were going crazy. It's like maybe the cows heard. They're going, "Moo, moo, moo." So it was like it's kind of funny. So, but nothing responded to that. One of the things we try to do, and you know this for sure, we go outside the box. We're not in the box. We will try every single thing out there. We have some ideas for some different things which we haven't tried yet. My opinion is, and anyone that's listening to, hey, try different things. Don't be afraid to try, even no matter how ridiculous it might sound. Okay, you don't have to put it out there. What you did, try it. See if you get a response. We kind of when we're out there at night, we try to get a kind of like try to draw them into us. Instead of in the day, you try looking for prints, things like that. At night, it's their game.
Yes.
Okay, their home field advantage, right? You want to try to draw them in. I always say with their curiosity. I still think if we ever get any great evidence, it's going to be because they made a mistake or your curiosity got them too close
Mhm.
We've always done that from day one. Have we had a lot of luck? No. I mean, we kind of stopped doing the howls and the hoots. I mean, we did right before we left. We had a couple of our lady members. They did a couple screams and things, but nothing, of course, happened. But since, as you know, since finding Bigfoot, you know, a lot of these new groups go out there and say, okay, we're going to beat on a tree and we're going to howl, and then Bigfoot's what? It's been 5 minutes, nothing happened. So, in a way, we always debate whether finding Bigfoot was good for the field or bad, and I'm down about halfway.
Yeah.
It was good because of the attention it brought it, for the howls, it brought Bigfoot more into the mainstream than it ever was.
Yeah.
In the opposite, I think it gave people, okay, let's just go out, we're going to knock on a couple of trees and we're going to get a response. And
Yeah, it's not going to happen. There's
with finding Bigfoot that it's going to happen. It's just not true.
Yeah, that's right. There's just way too many people. And that's all they do. They'll go out and bang on trees, do howls, and it's useless. And they may possibly get a response. That's possibly.
I've only had we've had only the one response, and that was on Beaver Creek. And, it knocked on a tree, and we got one single whack, and that was it. I mean, out of all the times we've been doing this, and the howls never response from them, or a hoot, or whatever the hell we do. Never nothing. I mean, and I'm honest about what we do, what we get. I'm not out there to be who we're not. We work with Fred a lot. Fred Saluga, and he was on. I love that episode. I told Fred he did such a good job. That was our power was how. But I was listening to you guys on the phone and said, you guys are our entertainment for that night. And it was a great episode. So
it was.
Great job, Fred. Yeah.
Oh, I loved having him on, and I want to get him on again.
Oh, he'll come on again. And he always says, he goes, I'm not a baker. I don't sugarcoat anything. As you saw on your podcast, he doesn't sugarcoat. He'll say what he feels. It doesn't matter about who. He'll say what he feels.
That's for sure. That's what I love about Fred.
Yep. I'm a little different. I kind of more local, right? I kind of wish I could be more like Fred in a way, because as I get older, I'm getting a little bit more like him. Maybe Fred like. But yeah.
Yep. Start taking notes now.
Yeah, after a while, he sees the same thing happening over and over with a lot of these researchers coming in, and only the faces change. I mean, not the behaviors, just just his face. And he goes, it's like, I guess we don't know nothing, Brian. We've been in it this long, but we're, people really, they know Fred more than us. We're more of the forgotten ones. But so I understand why he gets frustrated.
Yeah, there's so many people that get burned out, and I know you've gotten. I mean, really, in your 40 years, everyone gets burned out, and you have to step back, take a break, and well, at least with you pivot to something else.
Yes, that's what's got us 40 years. If it was 40 years straight Bigfoot, we would not be here.
But no, I remember one day I spent a couple of hours on YouTube looking up your name and all the podcasts and all the different programs and everything, that you were on. I'm sure that was on a small fraction.
Well, yeah, you actually when you did that and you start putting those up, I had not written them down or kept that much. I mean, I kept some stuff. I said, you know what? Let's tell my wife, let's go back and look.
Yeah.
And we did. We kept and that was probably 7-8 years ago. Easy. So since then, we found a lot of the stuff, and some of the stuff we were on. We have them all written down. I think we're something around the 80-ish maybe over the years. Yeah. Now again, that's since probably my first podcast wasn't probably till 2003.
Yeah.
And then Terry's been on some too. So Yeah, so maybe in like 22 years, we do about 5 a year, maybe 6. We've done a lot this year. It's been a lot, and but then so this is summer. I might not get anything until next year. We tend to get them in the winter and the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's busy during
Yeah.
the summertime, but wintertime when you want to sit back and listen and just watch the podcasts. It's a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'm grateful when somebody says, "Hey, I saw you." Uh, since we were on those small town monsters, we've gotten more publicity. I mean, we just did one in January, the Bigfoot Decoded, the first episode, and it was Lair of the Sasquatch, I think it was called, and it was about our Beaver Creek research. Seth and Courtney were down there, and it was a cold day, snowy day. Really cool backdrop, though. If you caught it, but if you watch it, I mean, we froze, but we filmed out there for over an hour. We walked down the trails by Gretchen's Lock, and so yeah, it was really fun. And since that we've gotten a lot. There's over, I think, almost 80,000 views on that or something.
Really?
So people have been saying, "Hey, you did a great job on this," and I appreciate when people say that.
Yeah.
I'll say, "Hey, thanks a lot for listening. I appreciate you watching me and not mocking me or saying this guy's an idiot or whatever."
Yeah, I know. It's fun, and I honestly don't advertise it, but people say they'll come up to me and say, "Hey, I saw you on Monsters," and I'll say, "Oh, thank you." And
we were on the same series.
Yeah, the Ridge.
The Ridge. Yeah, and then we were on Mountain State Monsters, and then this one, Bigfoot Decoded. So we've been on 3. Yeah, so
Very
it's cool. I mean, we try to help out Heather and Seth whenever we can.
Yeah. And, so nice. Heather's so sweet.
She's awesome. She's awesome.
Yes. No, I think I saw you on Monsters and Mysteries in America.
Yeah, I did 3 of those. That was, God, it seemed like eons ago. Yeah.
Yes.
And that was funny. I was on 3, right? 2 of them were just so quick, you blink and you'll miss me. The other one that I knew the least about was Devil Monkeys.
Okay.
I was on that a lot, but I'm like,
really?
Yeah. And the one we did about the Shenango Dog Boy.
Yes.
We put our organization, not just me, our organization put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah.
We gave drawings. We gave the 2 eyewitness women on there.
Mm-hmm.
We set them up for that. Okay. And I talked about the Shenango Valley because I was talking to Jamie and he gave me a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
And we had, with the drawings, we presented them with all this, okay? And what I did is I think I made a mistake. And what it was is I told the truth. And somebody says, "What do you mean?" I said, "I believe that the Shenango Valley Dog Boy was a boy with some genetic defects who also had hypertrichosis, which was commonly called werewolf syndrome. You have hair all over your body. You've seen a lot of some of the circus performers in Mexico and things like that."
Right.
And I said, "I do not believe this is a werewolf boy." I'm like, "Oh, here we go." I sabotaged myself, but I'm not. And the only thing they mentioned that I said when I talked about the whole lore of the Shenango Valley werewolf phenomenon, what I told them, one little slice of it was the legend up there. There was a coven of witches who summoned up this creature to protect the land. That's not me. That's coming from people that live there. That's part of the little sliver of the phenomena. And guess what they put in there? That. I was so disappointed. Because we worked hard. And and they just put I was hoping, hey, put a drawing up there. You want to know what this, you called it a creature, we called it a boy. Here's the eyewitness drawing from the lady who the boy ran up the road, grabbed her, and tried to pull her. Mm-hmm. This is the drawing. This is the original eyewitness drawing of it. And you didn't put it on there. Why? Why didn't you put it on?
Aww.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I'm like, come on, you want people to see what it was. Because one of the interesting facts is it had, one of its eyes was droopy and they were red. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what we ended up finding out with some research and talking to some people in Erie, we went up there. We went up there for a UFO conference and I had that. Have you seen the Shenango Valley? I had that drawing.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Oh, "Oh, that's the Erie Wolf Boy." I said, "No, this was seen by Shenango Lake." No, 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 no. A couple people. This is the Erie Wolf Boy. He lived on Peach Street. I ended up even getting the address. And what happened is he would come out at night, and he lived apparently in the basement. He had issues and things like that. And he had a red light in his window because he had an eye condition.
Oh, wow.
Put two and two together, guess what? We believe that he left there maybe in the 60s, moved up to Erie where he passed away in the early 80s. So we kind of closed our case on that. But we still have the case open on the Shenango Valley werewolf, which is a tall wolf-like creature, which is apparently still there. So that's still open.
Okay. Well, that's good. Now, I think that a member of my group had contacted me, and I referred him to Jamie, and Jamie researched the Dogman report from. I know it was up in Mercer County. I don't know if it would be technically Shenango area. I really don't know.
He's done some Dogman cases. I did
Yeah.
My friend John McDonald did a case up in Crawford County, across the line.
Yeah.
And it was that lady who we talked to was it called Werewolves Unearthed? There's another small town monitors. It's called Werewolves Unearthed. Jamie and Jenny are in there, and they do talk to that eyewitness. You'll see her. I'm not going to mention the name. You watch, you'll see her. And I did a phone interview from my car at lunch on that. I mean, they couldn't come. They said, "Could you do?" I said, "Hey, I got 11:30 to 12. I can do a phone interview. You just won't see my face," and they were good at that. So you'll hear me on there for about 5 minutes, but you don't see me. But yeah, so I talked about that, and so I talked about some Livermore things, and
Yeah.
I actually there was a lady who I said, "Here, you got to contact this lady," and they did. They put her on there too. So I'm all for it as long as the eyewitnesses say okay, and I did get her okay. I got her okay to get that information out. So, but if they, I'm like, "Hey, somebody wants to talk to you. Can you want to talk to them?" I'm not just going to here's your name because that's confidential.
Right.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And you have to respect that.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Shenango Dog Boy. I know that TV producers, they have their own agenda.
Yeah.
That their message that they have to put out, for the audience. Maybe what you should do is maybe make your own documentary about the Shenango Dog Boy.
Somebody had told me that we should do one.
Yes.
And I don't even know if the original eyewitness. I haven't talked to her in a year, so I don't even. Hopefully, she was old. She's old. But I know the other eyewitness, and I know he's still alive. But I was told that you guys should us, our organization, not me, our organization,
Right.
Even along with Fred, we should do that. A couple of them. We should start getting some and put it on YouTube for free. We're not in this to make money. Throw it on YouTube for free so people can get the information. That's what we would do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I don't know if you have a channel or any of your organizations.
No, we don't. We talked. Fred and I talked about maybe doing some things together and putting them on there. We just never got around to doing it. Like your podcast, I mean, they're almost like work. They're like a job because I've talked a lot, and I know a lot of podcasters, and they put their time, effort, and passion into it. And,
Yes.
And you might want to tell some of the people listening who think this is easy to do. It is. You have to have a passion to do this.
You do, yeah. And absolutely, it is. It's like a job. And there are times whenever I just don't feel like doing it, but then I know that my audience enjoys it, and I enjoy it to get into. I enjoy it. So, okay, here's what they say: the Shenango Valley Dog Boy house has been torn down, and it's now just an empty house.
Yeah, and I know this person. I won't mention his name, but I know who it is.
Okay.
Good friend of mine. And hope you're feeling better, buddy. was interesting about that Shenango. So we took a picture there of the place when it was up, and I don't know if word started getting around or whatever. But the very next year they tore that down. And I don't know if that person could say, "Okay, it's just an empty lot." Okay, no one ever built anything else on it, but it was just, we did Fred and I did a huge presentation of the Shenango Valley Library on this, and it was off of Hopper Road. If anyone else knows, other than the Paranormal Fellowship guy. Um, so when we met with the eyewitness, we went on Hopper Road.
Mhm.
We pulled the cars to the side, and we were all out of our cars, and she was showing us where this boy, not creature, grabbed her and started. So all of a sudden, it's like one car. What are you guys doing? Oh, we're just getting there. Another car came, another, and all these cars started coming. And one neighbor must have called the other. Hey, there's a bunch of cars there pointing in there, and we were just on the side of the road. We weren't in anybody's property or whatever. So after we did that presentation, and I go, so we did a investigation off of Hopper Road, and all you see was all these people looking at each other. It was just like, it was surreal. Like people, like me and Fred looked at each other like, so you guys know about Hopper Road? And then there's people saying, oh, there's strange stuff there. They all, yeah, about that. And it was really weird. And I just wish we could have taped them. We could have taped them looking and saying about Hopper Road. So how this stuff does, people up there know. And so it's, I love going up. We haven't been up there for a while. Maybe it's time to go back.
Yeah.
That Paranormal Fellowship fella can meet with us.
Yeah. Get it on open up a channel. And a YouTube channel, do your own documentaries and video your explorations and
Yeah, because we're, like I said, I turned 60 a couple months ago.
congratulations.
And don't know how much longer we'll do it. I'd love to get to 50. Next year's 40. We'll see. We'll try to plan it, but you never know. Maybe we'll just say, hey, let's just step back. Maybe just do it. Don't even go to any of these conferences or anything. We love giving talks at libraries, small historical societies. We're actually doing one, which I'm announcing right now for the first time. Actually, Fred and I at the Toronto Historical Society on Sunday, June, I think it's 17th. I don't have a calendar.
Okay.
I think 1 to 4. I'm going to do Bigfoot in Ohio, and he's going to do Weird Ohio or something like that. So I do one, then he does one. So it'll be fun.
Very cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah, the next one we're doing, it will be Hillview on July 18th. I haven't been back to Hillview in, God, a long time. This will be my third one there. So, yeah.
Is that when their conference is? Okay. Whoop. Froze up again.
Yeah, I'm going to do Strange Creatures of PA. We get a half hour, so we don't get a full hour, so I got to talk fast.
Ooh, that's too short. Okay, Melvin, where are you from?
We're originally from, my wife and I are from Hopewell, Pennsylvania, which is in Beaver County. This August will be 4 years down here in Weirton, by God, West Virginia, in a holler. Where there's literally no air blowing down here right now. It's like the flag is not even.
Yeah, I'm looking out the window. There's no wind.
Yep.
Yeah, Blue Eye Northern, Pat, she says they're in their late 60s having a ball and they're going out. Now, Pat and 3 other members went into Land Between the Lakes, but they're always going into Land Between the Lakes. But they came up with a video. I say it's historic, of a possible female dog lady,
Okay.
and who's holding possibly a dog baby.
Oh, I did see that.
Okay.
I saw it on Jody's site.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's this lady, blue-eyed northern.
Oh, that's her.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, she's definitely listening. I think that's an excellent video and fantastic job on catching that. That was
Yeah.
really weird. I mean, um, that's probably the best piece of evidence of Dogman that I've seen, and amazing to get that. I mean, you should be commended. And also here, thank you for sharing it, huh, Mary? We know.
Yes.
And Mary has worked with us. She shared. We've shared stuff with her. We've given her, some reports, things like that. These fields should be about sharing, and we know, we both know some who won't share a single thing,
Yep.
and it doesn't help anybody. It's always been a pet peeve of ours, a pet peeve of Fred's. You don't have to give out exact locations. You don't, but at least hey, if I want to go to the general area, maybe I could find something that also validates what you saw. I'm not out to take your thunder or steal your thunder. Hey, maybe I can add that little piece, because I think we all have a piece of this huge puzzle, which is the paranormal in general, everything, and everybody might have a piece, and if we all put it together, you might get a clearer, idea what it is. If not, then it, like you said, some of it brings it back to ego.
Yes.
And we've even said, like Fred and I, we say, Fred, me and you could go out there with Bozo the clown mask on. They want to hear what we know. They want to hear what people have told us. They want to hear the sightings.
Yeah.
Because like I was telling Fred this morning, I said, Fred, I'm a pretty damn boring guy. I like space stuff. I like monsters. I like Godzilla. I'm just weak, okay? I'm not an interesting person. They want to know. They want to know what people have told us, and that's all. That's all people are there for. They're there for the subject matter.
Yeah.
They're really not there for you. And I know that might hurt some people if I say that, but it's not to hurt you. It's just that's my view of it.
Yeah.
And Red's view of it too. And it's we're just like the conveyors of what people tell us. That's what I consider myself. And Terry and Fred, Jamie and Jenny, Dave and Carrie, Rupert, all these people, our friends.
Mm-hmm.
We're just conveyors. People have told us, and we're one of that small group. Not just Bigfoot, UFOs, ghosts, portals, blah blah blah, who research this stuff, who will get up in front of people and talk about it. And talking about it, oh, that's not. We have a new kitten here, and I thought it was her. It was him. His name's Eddie. He's over there. I got the other one who we're gonna be getting rid of here soon. But yeah, if he comes over here, I'll show you. I'll show him.
Yeah.
I named him Eddie, cousin Eddie.
Oh my goodness.
People know that's my favorite time of year, and they know I love Christmas vacation. I call him Eddie. He looks like an Eddie. Kind of dumb looking. He looks kind of...
No. Okay, Southern Belle Bigfoot says, Brian Sneak, I respect all your hard work, and we appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate me. But yeah, because it is a passion. Okay. And so for your work, I'm sure you get out there and you do stuff. I'm sorry, this black cat's clawing me. So if you see me doing like the Irish jig here, I'm trying not to get clawed in that. Here's the black cat.
Aww.
Say hi. I call her Black Demon. She attacked. He attacked. Sorry. Come here, Eddie. Oh no, that's Eddie's. But yeah, so there's a lot of people out there that don't even like. They just research on their own, and we know a lot of researchers like that.
Yeah.
They're not looking for fame, fortune. One of the ones, and I think John Redchun.
Yep. Yep. Well,
I met him down at one of Fred's, and I said, "Oh, John," I said, "I couldn't wait to meet you." I said, "I ever heard so much good about you," and I remember at the time that when I was with the PBS, no longer, okay, that we tried to see if we could get him in, and he says no, he wanted to do his own work privately. But man, the guy has some good stuff. If you're into Bigfoot, you know who John is.
yes.
And you know how respected he is. We need more people like him,
Absolutely. Yeah. But like yourself, we need the researchers, the real researchers. And guys, I apologize for the feedback. I have no idea what's going on. But we need for them to share and get the information, what they're learning, get it out there. Because we each may recognize a little tidbit of that research
Yeah.
and build off of it, each of us.
I'm always learning, and there's that old saying. It's like, I know that I do not know. I'm sure. I know that I do not know. I'm pretty good at not knowing a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a heck of a lot that I don't know, and a lot that we're only guessing at. But as long as we get out there and say, I don't know, I'm only guessing. Someone asks you a question, and yet, and that's what I respect about you is you say, I don't know. Possibly this, possibly that.
Yeah, I might say, hey, maybe I'll throw out some, maybe our opinions or
Right.
I don't even want to say theories. What is it?
Hypothesis.
Yeah, and I always tell people, I'm like, I'm okay if I'm wrong because I'm perfected being wrong. So I'm good at it, and I'm fine with that. Hey, I'll say that in lectures and stuff, and then people laugh, and they'll say, "These guys are honest." I said, I'm as honest as I could be.
Yeah.
If I put something out there, it's my opinion. I'm not going to put something out there that I think's fake. Some stuff out there I might be undecided upon.
You broke up there.
But yeah, we put the stuff that we present is we think is good evidence, or we think the eyewitness. We always say, I believe what you believe. If you think, you show me signs that there's some, like even some trauma or whatever, or you're not looking for fame or fortune, or look at me, I had a sighting, let me get me on TV. If we feel, not I, group, that we feel that you're legitimate, then we can put your report out. They're not going to give your name or exact location because you can't do that. But just to say, hey, these people, which we believe are legit, they've seen this Bigfoot in this area. I believe that they saw. So, I mean, we believe we've got the reports. It's like, oh, really? And then you turn around and you don't even talk about it. I'm not going to waste people's time with that.
Switching gears a little bit. I remember you talking about a UFO report from, I think it was back in the 60s. It was a case that started, I think, out in Ohio.
Oh, my favorite UFO case. That's in 1966, April.
Yes.
I know this, but I forget. April 17, 1966. That's how much I've really researched this case. The Ravenna,
Yes.
Ohio County chase, 86-mile chase to Conway, Pennsylvania. And the reason is, we actually lived in Hopewell, which is across the river and up on the hill. Okay, so we weren't that far from the actual ending of it. And they chased this. Two cop cars chased it. Another car joined them, and then there was another one in Pennsylvania. There was like 5 cop cars, and I think 6 eyewitnesses that saw it. And they chased it, and they said it was almost like it was playing cat and mouse. It would slow down a little bit while they got closer to it, then it would speed up. And the official report from our government said that at first they mistook Venus, and they followed it. No, and they followed it. It was Venus, and they followed it. Now these are trained observers, being policemen out at night all the time.
Yes.
And this thing actually hovered over the first Dale Spower and Wayne Houston. That's a good. No, Spower and Neff. They pulled off to the side. There was a car there. They pulled off to the side. This was at night, or maybe 5 in the morning, whatever. I think 'cause they got here about 6, and they saw this thing come up over the trees, past them. And the one officer, I think it was Neff, he actually had his gun drawn. He was going to shoot it. I mean, I don't know what good would have done, but and then they chased it for the 86 miles. And if you guys remember, I'm sure everybody here remembers the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Mm-hmm.
That police chase where they're chasing them, that was based on, I always say Beaver County. It was more Ohio, but I'm like, yeah, it's a Beaver County thing. I claim it as our own.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Now, I'm sure the policemen are probably not around anymore. After they retired, do you know a little bit more openly about it?
Well, in Beaver County times, I don't know if you got it when you lived there. Do you remember Scott Tatey?
Yes.
And they still have the Beaver County times. He's still the what do they call it? The industry or not the entertainment editor. So he contacted me for the would have been I think the 40th anniversary. So I gave him all my all the files on that. I even gave him a cassette tape that has the interview with what's his name, Major Quintanilla, who was head of Blue Book, interviewed both of the eyewitnesses in Ohio. I gave him the tape, and he took down everything. And he actually was able to meet with Frank Panzanella, who was, I think he passed. And there was Panzanella, there was Frank Houston in Beaver County, and Henry Kwiatkowski. See, when I went to Mary, I can remember stuff. Not much. But those are the 3. That's how much I studied this case.
Yes.
Those 3. Now I know, pretty sure Frank Panzanella, but I do not know about the other 2. But yeah, he interviewed Panzanella, and I think it was Kwiatkowski. But yeah, and he did a huge article.
Wow.
I contributed to the article a little bit, and I'm in there,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was happy. I was like, here, this is a piece for Beaver County. This is a historical piece for us.
Yes.
I was happy I was able to help him and give him all this information.
Yeah. And that was what month did that happen?
Oh, the actual date of it was April 17th, 1966. Yes.
So next year will be another anniversary for it.
Yeah, so many.
In April. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder maybe.
Hi, Scott again. Hey, Scott. I contact him from time to time because he helps me out, and he's a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he can do another article. Bring it up into people's attention again.
Yeah.
For next year.
Yeah, that would be what? How many years? So 66 to. Well, I was born in 65.
60 years.
Oh yeah, 60 years.
Yeah. Oh my. Wow.
I do know a gentleman I talked to. He's still alive. He's an older gentleman, Rick Hilberg from Ohio, and he was one of the ones. No, I don't know about the first one, but he interviewed those gentlemen. That's a good. I think I'm going to contact Scott, give him Rick's information, so Rick can.
Yeah.
So he can tell them what he knows. Now he did say that like during that chase too, that UFO apparently hovered over a barn and shot a beam down, which that's really not common knowledge.
Oh wow.
And then it kept going. Yeah. So hey, maybe he should
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, get that little tidbit in there.
Mm-hmm. And also, I did find out one interesting thing afterwards. Is so Dale Spauer, he had his life ruined. Basically, they called him the nuts that saw the flying saucer, and he got divorced, and then he moved on to Florida, and I guess he passed down there. But a little bit of good news is I found out looking through an old UFO newsletter, which I got from Paul, I think, and he actually did a presentation at a UFO group in Ohio. Okay, this is maybe a year after.
Mm-hmm.
He, at the time, he was thinking about writing a book about it. Now, obviously, it didn't happen, but at least for that one moment, that one night, he got positive coverage. And when I found that, I'm like, that made me feel good.
Yeah.
I was able to uncover something no one ever talked about. Like, even though it was in an old UFO, no one, like, most of what people don't understand, too, even with Bigfoot, let's say a new researcher jumps in and gets involved. I'm going to find everything I know about Bigfoot on the internet. No, you're not. I've got stuff up there and given to me, old newsletters, things like that. That
Yeah.
people just some people do get them, photocopy them, and put them out there and stuff. But the majority of that stuff is not out there. It was before the internet age.
Yes.
So there's a lot of stuff up there that was given to me, mainly by Paul, that you know, we should actually try to get some more of that out too.
Yeah. Yeah. Get that digitized somehow and put out. Get it out there.
A lot of old Bigfoot newsletters people don't realize in the 70s, 80s.
Yep.
Bigfoot news, like I know you know, but Bigfoot newsletters were popular. You had the track record with Ray Crow. You had the Bigfoot, one was called the Bigfoot bibliography, and we have a lot of those issues given to us by Paul. And there was other ones. I met Peter Byrne, like was my idol growing up. It was a conference in Ohio, and I forget which one. I think Don Keating had it.
Okay.
And when I was little, in the 70s, I would buy a couple. I forget what they were called. And I actually, before I bought it, I said, could you send me a signed copy? He sent me a signed copy of one of the newsletters. Now, I think I had lost it, but I had his book that he did in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
He signed it for me, Peter Byrne. I'm like, this is an honor, sir. I was like, you know, you're going to talk about like people getting starstruck and stuff. To me, holy crap, Peter Byrne.
Yeah.
I really could have talked to him. I met John Keel, too.
Okay.
I shook hands with John Keel. So I asked him, I said, what do you think this thing was? Really, what do you think this thing was? He goes, some people said it was a giant bird. I said, if it was, he goes, and it was funny, he puts his fingers apart. He goes, the feathers would have had to been that big. And I always remember it. Then he laughs. He says, and that was like so cool. I do have a picture with him. Me and I think it was Tim Frick. Or Don Frick. So I was like, I think I have it in my file somewhere. But that was so cool that I could say that I got to meet some of these.
Yeah.
These they're legends. Now some of the new people come in might say, who is that? They'll know they'll know what's his name?
Meldrum.
Yeah, they know Meldrum and Peter Byrne.
Yeah. Oop. You froze up again.
He was like one of the four horsemen.
Yeah.
So I bridged that gap like from the 60s, 70s to now. And like when I tell like some of the newer researchers, now who's that? What's this? I'm like, we all, this ain't our first rodeo,
No. Nope.
We're getting more closer to the last rodeo than the first rodeo.
No. Now, you also study the Thunderbirds and moths also.
Yes. I just gave a presentation about 4 months ago at Gerard Library, 3 months ago, Gerard Library, on Mothman and other winged cryptids, which I'm going to do that exact same one at our Commons Run Bigfoot Day it's October 5th or 4th. First Saturday in October, 4th or 5th, I keep getting it wrong. And Fred's going to do Bigfoot. We're going to have a ghost. We changed the name to Bigfoot and Paranormal Day. We're going to have 4 speakers.
Yeah.
So, free event to come up. Tomlinson Run State Park. If anyone listens, you want to come up. We have prizes too. We have displays. So you were there first year.
Yes.
We had the TV filmed it. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was
Biggest one yet.
fun. What date is that?
That is, it's either the 4th or the 5th. I think it might be the 4th of October.
Okay, 4th of October.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the black one. Where's mine? Eddie.
Oh.
Okay, we've got a question here for you. Which of the 3 types of Thunderbirds do you research?
So we act like in PA, we actually have what we kind of consider 2 different kinds. One is like a pterosaur type thing, pterosaur, pterodactyl. The other, it looks like an ancient eagle, which they call teratorns, and they've both been seen in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and even in West Virginia. Now, the third type, if there is a third type, I don't know about, but those are the 2. Maybe that the native tractor can tell me what the third type is.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe that's out west. Maybe there's a different one out west, and I didn't know about it actually. So.
yeah, native tracker. If you can fill us in on what that third one is. Oh, he has lore of them. It's good. Yeah, I know there was a Thunderbird. Well, the pterodactyl report here in the Shenango Township.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Maybe a year or 2 ago.
Yeah, and people ask me what I think those are. It's almost like, well, it's like it would be kind of hard for one of these creatures to be alive, I think, and not seen more. So, and when I throw this out, people think I'm nuts. I'm like, could this be some type of a time slip? No. And again, I could somehow, with certain weather conditions, boom, hey, look, I see a pterosaur. It's gone. I mean, again, I know what it must sound like to people. It sounds crazy, but maybe. Yeah. I mean, again, that's the only thing. Now I remember years back, Terry and I did with John and Tim Frick, we did a Thunderbird expedition to Kettle Creek. Mm-hmm. Okay, the third type is more like a storm entity. Okay, I've heard of those too. Yeah, I hear though. But thank you, Native Tracker. But yeah, that was always why they called them the Thunderbirds. When there would be storms, they would flap their wings. You would hear thunder, and they would glide on the storms, and they called them Thunderbirds.
Yeah. Who knows what they are? Like you said, maybe a time slip if they slip through a portal.
I mean, who knows? I mean, there have been reports across the world of dinosaur-like entities. The Ranger, and I think it's Australia. You have my favorite, the Mokele Mbebe in the Congo, which looks like a sauropod brontosaur type thing.
Yes,
and that's my favorite. One day I'm going to do a presentation on In Search of Living Dinosaurs. I want to do that one someday. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Montana has many pterosaurs living in high caves. They fly over Oregon this time of year.
Okay. Thanks for that info.
Interesting.
I mean, they're like, I know out west, they definitely had their share of the pterodactyl type, pterosaur type, and even in other countries, they have the ropin. That's in Papua New Guinea.
Yep.
Only the ropin is kind of has like this, almost like a light in its stomach, like they call it the night flyer. Like it's kind of a weird. Yeah. But I mean, look that up. The ropin. It looked like a pterosaur. I mean, something shouldn't be here.
Well, yeah, an area like that, like New Guinea, who knows?
Very thick, very dense. I mean, a lot of people go deep, and this is like even like with Bigfoot. Okay, if it's not an interdimensional entity, and I know you get nervous if I'm saying that. Look at her. The word "woo's" coming, right? But so, if we're talking just a straight flesh and blood entity, there are a lot of places in PA that these things could hide. PA, and I'm like kind of preaching to the choir with all the people that listen to yours. I mean, I'm probably not shedding anything new on that, but so they did a survey. This was years ago, and in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, in the northern part of the state, they said the article's like, not many hunters venture far into the woods, and they did a survey up there. They says most hunters, especially up there, do not go more than 1 mile into the woods. And you see there's vast woods up here. A good chunk of PA is vast wood. And if you have a creature that tries to stay hidden in the day and comes out more at night, you're like looking for a needle in a revolving haystack. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you know.
Yep, that's so true. Yeah, most people, especially hunters, you gotta think, um, if they get a deer, they have to drag that heavy deer out somehow. And if they go beyond a mile, and that's really pushing it at a mile.
Yeah, and not even just that. Like a lot of guys will go, even if it's dark, they'll go in on quads. Stop the quad.
Yeah.
They hear that. You know, I do want to tell you about this. I think this is and I mentioned it to you before, but there's a gentleman named oh boy, what's his name? Whenever I put myself on the spot. Anyway, I'll think of his name. I'm sure he wrote a book, The Secret, the Sense of Being Stared At. Oh, Rupert Sheldrake. See, it's been there, Mary. I just got to pull it back out. Rupert Sheldrake.
Okay.
And so his story was told to him. There was a wildlife photographer somewhere in Africa, and he's photographing this pack of monkeys. He says, all at once, all these monkeys stood up and they looked in one direction. I think it was probably the left. I could be wrong. And they're standing there looking. All of a sudden, they go down on there and then they run. So this photographer is saying, I've got to see what's coming, right? So he's a little bit nervous, trepidation, and about an hour, he timed it. About an hour, there was a like a safari coming with people with packs and a couple hunters. An hour. So I was always told too, like the Indian chief or Native American chief, Geronimo, he learned to interpret bird calls, bird distress calls.
Yeah.
So the cavalry be riding in on their horses. These birds, and they'd be like, "Okay, cavalry come, let's get out of here." And he was able to detect or stay away from cavalry for a long period of time until they captured him. But I have an article about that, and I'm like, wow. And I kept that article. I'm like, it makes sense,
Yeah.
Any animal that knows the sounds, like, okay, there's a chipmunk or a squirrel.
Yeah.
A distress call because there's that apex predator coming.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a thing that's true. And the was it just warning about the goose will fly over and just start calling and calling, all part. Okay, let's see. We got there's some tracker. He forms like the page out of the envelope.
That's a good. I could go. I understand. Yeah. Thank you again. This guy's cool. I could talk to this guy all night.
Yeah, he's got a lot of information. Very fascinating person.
Tell him to Facebook message me. Brian SEECH it.
Yeah.
I'm trying not. Sorry guys, I'm trying not to get clawed to death here. But yeah, send me if he's on Facebook, Brian SEECH. I mean,
They follow planes.
where's he from? Is he from out west?
Yeah, I remember he said before, west somewhere. Where are you at, Native Tracker? Oregon.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Greg. Love you too. Chime in whenever you can.
And you have a good group. You have a good group there. They're interested. They're knowledgeable.
Yes.
And I do like what you say about respect and learn. And that's what we all should be doing. Not hey, look at me. I mean, there's a lot of people that want to be rich and famous and be the top dog. And why?
Yeah.
Just go out and have fun. Go out and have fun with what you're doing. Be with the right people. Have fun. And you can take all the like the public stuff with a grain of salt. I mean,
I know, because once you go, all you're doing is stepping on others, trying to build yourself up, and that's no way to go about things.
No, no, it's just it isn't. We're having fun. We're having a blast.
Yeah.
You know, so you just got do your passion, follow your passion, research the way you want to research, and like I'm always open. Try different stuff. I mean, what's it gonna hurt?
Yeah.
Maybe open a portal and you get sucked in, but hey, sometimes things happen, right?
That's funny. So,
I won't, she won't hear from me for a week. He was just talking about portals. Now he's gone.
There he went. So, any other fascinating stories that you can think of? Anything that you've researched that you want to bring out?
Nothing really. I mean, you know that we've researched the white Bigfoot here in PA.
Yes.
Well, not here in PA, I'm in West Virginia, but there's been sightings here in West Virginia, over into Ohio.
Yeah.
I believe, like I said, I think me and Terry, there's at least 11, and we've done at least 7 of them.
Yeah.
Grayish white. Have not heard any white sightings lately, but I did uncover one. This was years ago on the BFRO website from Jefferson County, which is close here too.
Yeah.
And I think it was around. I don't know if it was Steubenville but there was two white ones. So again, people. Red,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think there was a report from Forest County. In our research area that myself and a few other team members have been getting up there. There's a white Bigfoot there. Goes around a elderly couple's home occasionally. It's more often there's a Bigfoot, but there's also sightings of a red one and a white one in the area also.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're rare, but they seem to be concentrated. Like I said, so you've got Hancock County here, then you've got like Columbiana, Jefferson, Columbiana, and then Beaver County.
Yeah.
Even in Lawrence County, we had 2 sightings of white ones in Lawrence County. One in West Pittsburgh and one in Cascade Park. One in Cascade Park was 4 foot tall. It was a small one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the other one actually in West Pittsburgh. It was weird because this one hopped from tree to tree. It hopped.
Oh, really?
No, it didn't look like an Easter bunny. It looked like a big white ape. It hopped. Yeah, and the dog was barking and going crazy and everything. Yeah. We set out a trail cam there for a week and nothing. Of course, kiss of death. You set out a trail cam, they're gone.
Yes. Now it was hopping on the ground, or
no, it was standing up, but it hopped instead of walking.
Interesting.
From tree to tree. It was weird, yeah. And I had heard a couple other sightings, not a lot, that it hopped. A big hop, and it's very rare for sure.
Yeah.
I've heard of a couple others that hopped. So again, there are some stranger aspects of Bigfoot, and I learned that from Dr. Paul Johnson, who works with us. He wrote 2 books on it. The quantum theory. He goes to quantum theory.
Yeah.
And Paul's famous quote, and I'm going to say, Paul, I'm going to quote you in a book someday. He says, "I don't know what Bigfoot is, but it's not a real animal." Is what he told me. It's not like a bear.
Yeah.
He swears by that, honestly.
Yeah, they are something more.
Oh, here's Eddie. I want to show her Eddie. This is our new kitty.
Oh.
This is Eddie.
Cousin Eddie.
He's a good little dude. Oops. What'd you do, Eddie? Okay. He's my buddy. He's 9 or 10 weeks old Friday. I forget.
Okay, we have a question here. Okay, wait a minute.
That's your appearance guy. Huh?
Oh, welcome to the chat, Roxy. She's new here. She says, I'm wondering what part of Pennsylvania has the most sightings. She's 70 miles east of Pittsburgh.
So yeah, from what we always say, it's Chestnut Ridge,
Yeah.
obviously. I mean, to ad nauseum talking about Chestnut Ridge, right? You're going to probably laugh at that one. Westmoreland, Fayette, some Indiana County, things like that. But there's so she's 70 miles east. She would be what? Around Somerset? Or no, is that?
East of Pittsburgh, there might be not Indiana County, maybe around State College.
Okay. Yeah, and like the thing with out there in east, you may it might sound funny. You might have more creatures out there, but you don't have no one hardly has any researchers out there.
Yeah,
There's very few, and they have a lot of coverage to do.
Yes.
And southwestern Pennsylvania got them crawling all over one.
Okay. Johnstown, she says. So, yeah,
Oh yeah, Johnstown.
very familiar with Johnstown. Brian was just talking about Johnstown a little bit ago.
Yeah.
What's the name of that area off the Conemaugh River that you were researching?
Livermore. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, Corky, good to see you here. Okay. Let's see here. I had a question. I can't remember what it was now. Okay. Here we go. Okay, Ligonier. Remember the
Yeah.
Bigfoot on Ligonier.
A lot of sightings there too, right? Yeah. I don't research. When we were in the PA Bigfoot Society, we researched the Chestnut Ridge, but I don't go back now. Fred still does the Chestnut Ridge, so he would be the one to talk about Fayette County and stuff like that. Yeah.
Fayette now.
Yeah, as he says, Fayette now. He knows the area, so he would be definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of my first experiences were up on above Uniontown, the Farmington area.
Okay.
No, doggone, I know I was posting. Okay, yeah, John Redchun researches there.
Yes.
Yep. Very good guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You will not hear a bad thing about him.
No.
I just noticed, Mary, is this too dark?
No. We can still see you.
Okay.
Oh, there's a deer dog in my yard.
Yeah, we see a ton of turkeys because we have a bird feeder out there.
Yeah.
Turkeys and deer and birds. Yeah, we call this place our acre of nature. I mean, because it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you moved and you moved further away, but I think I'm happier there where you're at.
Oh, I love it down here. It's just we couldn't afford PA anymore. That's something you could. We moved from Beaver County, and they upped the taxes and everything.
Yes.
Gas is ridiculous. I love Pennsylvania. That's not that. We both love Pennsylvania. We spent all of our lives there, except for these last almost 4 years coming up.
Yeah.
But we're not that. We're only 7 miles from the line right here. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice area. Now, are you going to go to the Virginia Bigfoot Festival?
That's this weekend. Way too many people. I will get there one year. I will. It's just I just don't feel like dealing with the people, especially with the heat and stuff.
Oh my!
They have a fantastic thing there, is what I heard. I mean, it's huge. What they tell me. I haven't even been to the Bigfoot Museum there. Have you been there yet?
Not yet. No.
I like to try to go to off season, off weekend.
Yes.
I went to the Flatwoods Museum. We went to that was cool. Yeah. And apparently the Bigfoot Museum's right next to it or something.
Huh. Yeah, that'd be fun to go to. But the conferences and festivals, I hardly ever go to those just because it's way too crowded, usually way too busy. Yeah, no. Okay, Melvin's going next Friday and Saturday. Okay, that could be fun. Pat says Brian looks
I look old.
mature.
There you go. I like that. That sounds a little bit nice. Mature.
Yeah,
Thank
well, time catches up to us.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
So how's Terry?
Good. She's in the room reading.
Oh, okay. Tell her I said hi.
I will. Yeah.
I miss you guys. Now, Brian and Terry, they would put on a monthly meeting in Beaver County that a lot of people miss.
Yeah, we did that for 9 years. You know that.
Yeah.
And COVID killed it.
Yeah.
Never able to. They couldn't, take us anymore, and then it shut down. The place isn't even there anymore. King's
Yeah.
isn't there anymore. And,
Nope.
yeah, we had it good. We had an agenda. We had speakers. I think you spoke there one time, didn't you?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
We had prizes, and we did all kind. We had fun. I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
But nothing. I guess they say nothing lasts forever. But we did enjoy them. We did, like I said, 9 years, and a lot of special guests come down there.
Yes. Yeah, it was fantastic. I know I enjoyed so much going to these meetings and meeting more people who were interested in paranormal things like I was. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Bigfoot. Remember, we talked UFOs. We talked
Yeah.
ghost hunters in there. We did. Yeah, UFO researchers. So yeah,
Yeah.
Authors. A lot of authors came and sold their books. So yeah, we were proud of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes people still bring it up, and I think how long it's been. Well, we haven't done any since years, so it's probably been about probably about 5 years.
Yeah.
Because I think we did only 1 or 2 after that, and then they couldn't service us, and then they shut down. So it's hard to believe it's been that long.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's no place in Beaver County that you can really hold something like that anymore.
But we can say we did it, so
Yes, you did, and you did very well.
Yeah, we had fun, and we had fun, and I'm glad. That's what means the most to Terry and I, because we figured if it wasn't fun for the people anymore and they stopped coming, they came, and I think the minimum we had every time was at least 20, and one time I think when Patty Wilson came and spoke, I think we had like 37 people, and that's a lot for a monthly meeting.
It is. Yeah. Here we go.
We were there. We stayed there. After Terry graduated, my brother got us an overnight room there. We stayed there. We did a little investigation. Nothing happened, but our friend Patty Wilson lives close to there, and she got some pretty cool stuff out of there. Some good EVPs and stuff. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful little place.
Is it?
Yeah, and it's situated. You look out, there's this huge mountain range, huge. I mean, I always told Patty, we're gonna come up here and hike that time because I know there's a Bigfoot up there.
It's a beautiful area.
Bedford is awesome.
Yeah, I have a habit of just passing through there, but not stopping. And I have it as one of my goals. I want to stop there.
Yeah, stop there. Good food. Yeah, good food there. Yeah, the rooms are nice. We did hear. Nothing really happened, but we did hear like some thump, thump, thump outside in the hall. And I hurry up and came and went and looked. Nobody was there. But did somebody run? So, it wasn't like I was like right there and boom, But, we tried and we had a recorder running and so. But it was a fun thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's That's good. Now, you want to talk a little bit more about your Mothman research?
Yeah, we just we call it just like winged entity because Mothman was more specific to that the creature.
Yeah.
In Point Pleasant. Now, we had the Chicora gargoyle, which up by Dan Hedman, and we had there's actually been a couple sightings down here of a winged entity. Fred took one. I took one outside of Tomlinson Run Park. The lady even drew it. It looked more birdish, but it was. She said it was birdish, semi-human. She said when it flew over the car, it engulfed the car, and it was right actually going like so. If you're in the crash, if you're making the left going into the park,
Mm-hmm.
pool there, they were coming out as it flew over. And then another one, somebody saw a huge bird coming. Not Peps, I don't know what it's called. Used to be Starlight.
Yes.
I don't even know if it's still cars. And they were on 60 or 22, and they saw this winged creature. And they just drew it like an outline, and they said this was huge. They said this was huge. This was at night. The other one was like right at dusk. The other one was at night, and the one with Fred that he took was in Hancock County, which is our county, smallest county in West Virginia, too, by the way. It was in around New Cumberland, and I guess a lady and her son were out sleeping in a tent, and they had one of these huge trampolines, and they heard. And they look out, and this Mothman or this winged entity was actually crawling and got on the trampoline and was walking and it moved up to a tree. And then they closed, they were scared and they ran into the house. Yeah.
Wow. Now, would you put the Thunderbird under that same category or is that a different category?
Yeah, these seem to be more like humanoidish than bird.
Yeah.
But we got one a Thunderbird report. I think a couple from PA and then one from Ohio. We never got a lot. We got allegedly some Black Panther roaming around here.
Yes.
They were even talking just recently a black bear down here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's ironic that it's been seen by the dump, which is the Brooke County Depository, which allegedly is where the Black Panther was.
Okay.
So it's like you can, I always tell people take it how you will. They're just, this wasn't kind of a formal report. I was on a weird site, and the guy just said it. I tried to contact him. He never really contacted me back. So you know how that goes. You know how that goes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a frustrating part of this research. Is you get all hyped up. Oh, this person saw this. They're going to call me. They don't call you. Call them. You call them. They never call back. I'm like,
No.
just let's just talk about your report, general area, what it looked like, and that's it. It's not like we're going to have 50 people out there.
No.
On your property. Now, if you want us to come out, we'll bring a small team.
No, we're not going to blast your name and your location from television or anything.
Yeah, always confidential.
Yeah, but I think people they don't realize that we respect the privacy and we respect what they saw, what they witnessed, and we want to respect the area enough that nothing happens to it.
Yeah, and especially the first eyewitness of the dog man in Brooke County didn't want to have anything to do, but then she heard me on the podcast about 2 or 3 months ago saying, "Oh, that's the guy that wants to talk to me," because we were talking. I think it was Planet 412. Matt M. I think, and we were talking strictly dogmen, and she heard me talking about dogmen, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it does not make sense, guys. I mean, there shouldn't be giant wolves walking around at 2 feet,
Yeah.
Shouldn't, but this is what they're telling us. I'm not making it up. I project what they're telling me, and I don't put any fluff into it. It's like, this is what it looked like, this is where it was. We've had a couple other sightings in the general area, blah, blah, blah. You take it from there. Because anymore, I don't care who believes us. I don't. I mean, I think the older you get, the less you care
Yeah.
about what people think. And it's like, whatever. It's actually funny. So tomorrow we have this quality of life report week, and we have to give a short little 3 to 5 minute presentation. So I have a couple pieces of ghost equipment I'm going to talk about. So yeah, the thermal, the handheld thermal, thermometer, and then there's one other thing I forget. You only got 3 to 5 minutes, so I'm going to show people. They're excited about it. It's like, yeah,
Wow.
Actually, as soon as I'm done here, is what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some notes down so I sound semi. And actually, yeah, Corky, I do have one, and I'm going to be talking about it tomorrow at work. But yeah, it's an older one, but it is a FLIR. It's an older one. It takes single shots. It doesn't take like the one Dave got's really good.
Okay. And
Eventually, I'll get a better one. But yeah, I don't know about the tails, but they say that the this is for Corky. The wingspan could be up to tip to tip could be about 20 feet. Okay.
yeah.
I've never really got any measurements, but they allegedly have long tails. But I've never, no one's ever said about how long the tails are. And again, I haven't got a lot of reports from. Stan's got the most reports in PA on it.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
The people keep calling him and letting him know. He'll put it in his book. Bar. I don't know what in relation to Corky.
What in the one in Ohio? I took this report years ago. I don't tell them. I think it was in the middle of the state. It wasn't close. I think I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, Blue-Eyed Dora. She lives in Louisiana right now, but she's from Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think she said it. I read a little bit earlier. She commented about being near the MUFON. I guess they have a main office or something in Ohio somewhere.
Yeah, it's moved several times.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's still there, but I know Fred will know if it's still there because I think it was out west and it moved to Ohio, but I don't remember because we haven't been in. My wife and Terry and I were former investigators in MUFON years ago, but we haven't been in it. Oh my, maybe 9-10 years. I actually quit. She was still a state section director like a year or so after, and then we just decided that some of the cases that we were getting, they're just twinkle lights in the sky. It's like, what more can you do? All the good cases went to a special team, like the STAR team. And I'm paying all this money. I know I'm getting the magazine, but the cases I'm getting, a lot of they don't call you back, and a lot of them are. The best case we got was a case in Mars, Seven Fields, up in that area.
Yep.
Where a gentleman saw, it was a couple of days, I think, before Christmas, took his dog out, the dog was looking up and barking, and he sees it, and he has a picture, and he showed us the picture. And it was a circular disc. This was at night, but there was lights ringed all the way around, and then one light in the middle. So we got there, me, Terry, and Paul, and he goes, "You check out." I'm like, "What? You are who you say you are?" I'm like, "Yeah." He hands me a piece of paper that he knew people in the FBI, and they checked me out if I was legit.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere, but I'm like, and afterwards, after we talked to him and we took the report, Paul, that guy was kind of creepy. He scared me. But yeah, so some of the stuff we've done over the years.
They checked you out, huh?
I'm only a threat to myself, believe me. When I drive, when I walk, I'm a threat to myself.
Yep. Me tripping over my own feet. Corky says, "Yep, you're right, Corky. Brian's a movie star."
That's funny. I just finished up a part in a small movie a month ago.
Okay.
And it'll be the 5th one already, believe it or not, that I've had small parts in. Like,
Very cool.
yeah, it is. It's like, what are they? I work with Smokey Bear Productions, Jim Coon.
Oh,
I've done. I don't know if you know Jim or not. Or, uh, he's from Newcastle area.
okay.
What's one? Crossing Pass 2.
Okay.
The one I did was wrong way. It's kind of like a horror type thing. Flatwoods and Beast of Our Fathers. Me and Fred were in. So
Okay.
this will be the 5th one, and I don't put it out there a lot. I'll say, hey, this, but I don't. But it's funny. No movie star. But at least I could say I've been in some, which is cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. You know what I mean? It's at the end of the day, you can at least say, hey, you know, there's actually an IMBD too that I actually looked at. A couple of mine are on there. Not all of them, but I'm like, I should go back in and fill this out. You know what I mean? But I just never did.
Wow. Very cool.
Cool. Yeah. Fun. It's fun.
I've only been in one. I have some catching up to do.
Yeah. I say, so I've done 5. I would love to say, before I go into the next plane here, whenever, I would love to say I've done 10. And
Well,
maybe I'll stick with this, this company, he does them every 2 or 3 years. So maybe I can get 5 more somewhere. But you have a goal, you put it out there. If it doesn't, at least I'm halfway anyway, right?
You never know.
Mhm.
You never know. Yeah, the Bigfoot, the movie, the sequel, I was in that one.
Yeah, I like that.
Way back in the background.
Okay, I like that. That was I didn't like the second one as much, but I loved the first.
Yeah, they're fun.
Oh, he's fun. We met.
Yeah.
Were you there when we met Pittsburgh Dad?
Yes.
Yeah, me and Fred got the picture with the Bigfoot. That was imposing. Me and Fred and that thing. That was an imposing figure.
I know.
We were teasing him. You remember what I asked him? I was the last guy. I said, "So, what is your real thoughts on Bigfoot?" He goes, "Oh, come on, man! You don't believe in that stuff." And I go, "Remember, I said you got a lot of Bigfoot researchers here."
Yes.
And, I said, "I know you're going to Westmoreland County next." I said, "They take it seriously."
Yeah.
I would not be egging them people on because they take it seriously.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he told us. I said, we talked to him outside afterwards. I said, "You really don't believe?" He goes, "No." He goes, because Kurt is from West Virginia.
Yes.
But I believe in Mothman. There's quadruple the sightings of Bigfoot over Mothman. I'm like, yeah. I like him. I like to meet him again. I thought he was super cool.
Yeah, he is.
Us, and he was just jagging around. He was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Jared, the guy, the producer, and plus he was one of the actors.
Oh, yeah.
Bert, he's originally from right here, Elwood City.
Okay.
And I run into him every so often. And he kind of believes, which is it's interesting. I've tried to talk him into taking some of his videos to the Bigfoot conferences, but he's afraid of it. A lot of ridicule, from people because we take Bigfoot serious, and here his movies are more about comedy, horror, take, they're all
I
guys.
like comedy, sci-fi. You got to have variety. You can't take everything so serious. You got to. You got to have. I
really,
like people like him that they'll poke fun of this.
yes.
They're just doing it for a laugh and have people watch it.
Yep.
They need more laughs nowadays instead of.
Absolutely. Oh, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Pat. I wouldn't say that.
I'd like to see any cryptid. I've not seen any. I have not seen any cryptids. I've heard some weird things, but I honestly can say I've never seen anything. Maybe someday. Maybe that's how it'll end. I can at least say I saw something. And I'd be happy with that. I would be happy with that.
Now you do ghost research also. how much have you done with the ghost research?
We just did the Grand Midway, the Grand Midway Hotel, and I think it's down around Johnstown. I forget the name of the city, but we did that about a month ago. We only do a couple a year, a couple ghost investigations. We take some of our ghost equipment out, even Bigfooting with us, like meters and stuff, just in case.
Yeah.
I like when I'm walking in the woods now for the last 3 years, I've used a tri-field meter and I put it on magnetic. So if I'm walking in the middle of nowhere and just the magnetic meter goes off, maybe there's your portal. I mean, maybe there's your energy. I mean, now when we went up to the Midway, I was using the tri-field meter and I had it on magnetic, and they had this little like a replica coffin. It was in a movie room, and I'm scanning, and I scanned one end of it, and it jumped up to 300. It was mainly 0.2, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, so then I walked all the way to the end of the other end, and it wasn't that big, maybe it jumped to 400.
Wow.
Never even hardly jumped at all. So I'm like, okay, I got to try to replicate this. So I went back like 3 or 4 times, and it went 2 and 3. So was there paranormal activity just temporary from one end to the other? And then because I used the whole rest of that place, nothing, except 2 places back to back. And I made sure that I went back to verify to double check. Maybe there's lines underneath or something.
Right.
There was a basement, but nothing around there anywhere. So it was like, that was weird. That was the weirdest thing that we had happen all week.
Wow. Yeah, that's something else. Yeah,
The other one we did was down here at the Brooke County Playhouse, which would have been like, I think, September before. And there's a theater there that's allegedly haunted. It's the old theater that we did our 2 conferences in. And there's a shadow man there. But our friends were on the net with us, and they had the spirit box. And some of the questions they were asking, they got direct responses. And one lady who was there, one who works there, her father worked there, and she came up and she said a couple things, and there were things that only he knew about her that came through. Because I am skeptical about the ghost boxes. Don't get me wrong, because it runs through the spectrum, and then words come out. But some of them, when you're getting direct responses, you're talking the coincidence that 1 word or 2 words that come up that's in conjunction with that lady. She was crying and stuff. She's kind of through this way.
oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, that's right. We were this past weekend in the Allegheny National Forest, and Patty, she said she took her EMF meter and it was going off. Yeah, there was possible ghost activity in the woods behind our campsite.
And that's what's interesting. That's. I mean, we're bringing meters out more with us in Bigfooting because.
Yeah.
I remember Ron Lanham and Joe Perdue, in one of their Bigfoot prints, there was a little higher radiation in that one print when they took it. And I think that after they took it, they went back in it, but they said, yeah, there was I don't know how long ago it was made, maybe not that much before they did it, but that now again, I know there's background radiation. Don't get me wrong, there is background radiation everywhere.
Right.
This jumped up, so weird. I can't explain that.
Yeah, I know. I've heard talk of people taking what do they call them, a radiation detector.
Yeah, Geiger counter.
Yeah,
I have a little. Yeah.
Oh. Huh. I've had a little theory that sometimes some of the ghost reports that are outdoors are actually Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's been said.
Possibility, yeah. Like
and vice versa. Like a lot of people.
yes.
Not a lot. I've talked to a decent amount of ghost hunters or read online. They'll be at a cemetery at night and they hear something big walking through the woods, and they're like, I think it was Bigfoot. I saw eyes. So and then I think Fred mentioned on your program, there's a lot of reports of Bigfoot by cemeteries too.
Yes.
Up in Livermore, where we were,
Yeah.
Paul Johnson group in the '90s. I actually have a picture of one of the they didn't cast it, but it was a clear print. It was a clear footprint in the mud. So again, another cemetery, plus you're by the river. There's sightings of orbs. There's flashes of light all the time. I mean, so it's a weird place. So who knows?
Yeah. Wow. Let's see. Mid-South. I agree. Same here. I'm not a believer.
Hopefully someday for me too. Hopefully.
Well, hopefully we'll get to that sighting. I hope. Yeah, 3 feet from your face. Yeah, that would be fairly convincing.
Oh yeah, there ain't no doubt about that.
No. Okay, let's see. Well, anyone else? You know, it's almost 9:30, and
Okay. Yeah, I got a little bit of research to do before tomorrow's presentation.
yeah, let you.
Just a little bit, because it's going to be a real quick thing. So.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has any other questions. I'm not seeing anything coming up. But tell you what, Brian, we'll let you go.
Okay.
And I do appreciate so much you coming on. And please, if something else happens, if you want to, advertise something special going on, give me a holler and we'll get you on here.
Sure, I'll give you a holler from the holler.
Yes, that's right.
But thanks for having me on. I enjoyed it. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, they did. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback.
Good.
Thank you, Melvin. Yes, it is. It's a nice show. We appreciate Brian. Yeah, maybe we can get you and Fred on here sometime, both of you.
Sure. He's one of my mentors, so
yes,
he taught me a lot. I know.
Yeah.
It's if you'd have told me I'd have Fred, I'd have Paul Johnson, Dan Hagman, some of the tops in the field. I get to learn from them. I would. Oh, that's never going to happen. But yeah, that's awesome.
Yes. Oh, I know, Fred. I love Fred. Just the highest amount of respect for the man.
John Wayne and Bigfoot.
Yes, that's it. John Wayne and Bigfoot.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll let you go.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Sure. Good night, everybody.
All right. You have a good night.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Yeah. Oh, Pat. Oh my goodness, it would be awesome to get both Brian and Fred Saluga on. That would be a fantastic show. That would be. Well, I don't know if who all was here whenever Fred was on my show last. That was, I don't know, a couple months ago. But Fred is a hoot. The man holds nothing back. And so, yeah, we'll get both Fred and Brian on, sometime. Aw, thank you, Pat. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, our camp out in the Allegheny National Forest, again, it was last weekend. at Heart's Content Campground, Heart's Content Recreation Area. And we had such a fantastic time. I know it's up on the mountain. Yeah, Patty makes fun of me because I said, it's down the valley. Yeah, it's in a mountain valley. It's up on the mountain, but it's in a valley partway down on the mountain. And we lost GPS signal partway up there. And hey, Ken, good to see you. Yes, it went well. Thank you. Wednesday, I went early. I went a day early on Wednesday. And you may have missed it, but Wednesday, the ground was so muddy, from all the rain and everything, that my van got stuck. I was trying to get it to a level spot. And I had rented a U-Haul van. That's what I camp out of. And, oh, Patty, you never got to roast your marshmallows. Oh, that's right. They may have tasted like diesel. Who knows? But in my van, the U-Haul van that I rented got stuck. So I flagged down a couple guys, in a campsite above us. They had pulled over next to a campsite and were talking to a guy in that campsite. So I flagged them down, and they walked down, and I asked them, I said, do you think you guys can give me a push, help me get out of this hole? And so they pushed and rocked the van, and we got it out. Thank God. Thank you for those guys. It turned out diesel dust. Yeah. It turned out that these two gentlemen were scoutmasters for a big Boy Scout campout up in the group camp. It was a huge field just across from there. And they were Troop 161 from, you're right, Pat, I did. I brought pepperoni rolls. And if Tara is still on there, she had at least one of them. I think that the batch that I brought, though, I was running out of pepperoni. So I think that particular batch was a little light on the pepperoni. So could have been better, but they were still good. Anyway, Troop 161 Boy Scout troop out of Indiana, the state of Indiana. So nice. So very nice. And, I told the gentleman, I said, I'm the founder of Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project, and it's an organization, Bigfoot research organization. And I offered to do a presentation up at their encampment, while they were there, out of my appreciation, for them helping me. And they, kind of give a neutral look. And, but then a little bit later, 3 of the boys walked down, and they were asking me all kinds of questions, very intelligent questions. And they were so interested. They were just fascinated. And they had about 1,000 questions, but then one of the scouts' mothers walked down and kind of got them because it was about the storm. But before she got there, I had asked the boys if they, if they had experienced or seen anything. Hey, Roger, good to see you. I probably would have scared the whole troop. Yeah, probably. That's probably why they didn't invite me up. No, I would have given them the PG version. But the one boy said one Tuesday night, middle of the night, their tents were up against the tree line, and that's where their tents were. And they said that they woke up to something walking in the woods behind them. And they said it wasn't a four-legged animal. It was something with two legs. And I kind of went over it again with them to make certain that it wasn't a deer or something, four-legged. And, questioned them, just to make sure. And they said, no, it had two legs. It would take a few steps and then stop as if it was watching and listening, and then take a few more steps and watch and listen, and again a few more steps, and so on. And then he said one boy looked out from his tent and he saw a figure. He couldn't make out any features or any details, but he could tell that it was very large. And where it was standing, he could see a tree branch. So the following morning, he could tell that it was right around 8 foot tall. Well, they told me that the following morning, Wednesday morning, they told the scoutmaster about it, and the scoutmaster told them to move their tents further away from the tree line and into the field. So, but, I wish that I could have talked to them, gone up and done a little talk, and, I would have been happy to, but I just want to repeat, if anyone knows or has contact with, the Boy Scout Troop 161 in Indiana, I thank them from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for your help. Now, something else. Goodness. And it's slipping my mind. But there were a few things that went on. Oh, I know what it was. Whenever the rest of the, few more people came into the camp, let me see, Bigfoot New York Todd, he came in, and Patty was there, and Tara was there. A few other people from our group were there. Great, it was a small crowd, but it was a good crowd, and I was happy that everyone was able to make it. And but I think, who was it? Patty, was it both you and Todd? You went out, and I mentioned that I would like someone to go up, into that tree line and see if they could find a game trail or something that parallels along there that would show, possible prints. And so Todd went up there, and I can't remember who else he was with, but he said that he found there was a mound of dirt, and he said there was an impression on there as if something had lain there watching. Hey, Gary. That something had laid there along that mound of dirt, where it could oversee the Boy Scout encampment. Take that, as you will. They also found a bear print, and let me see what else. There were a lot of owls, barred owls that they called. In fact, I have a recording. Let me see if I can bring that up again. I tried to catch it during this one, whenever I recorded the campfire, because the barred owls were calling. And here, I'll play this again. You may want to turn up your volume. You may be able to hear the owls on here. I won't play it all the way through, just a short little bit, but because I think there's a couple near the beginning. So I'll just play a quick little excerpt of it. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to hear, unfortunately, but yeah, you have to really turn up the volume to hear what little bit, I could hear them so clear. And unfortunately, my phone didn't catch, any more of it. Let's see. And what else? Oh, what was her name? Sherry. She had brought her FLIR, and she was looking out from she was camped next to me, but she and a few other people were in my camp, and they were looking back into the woods behind behind my camp. And she said that she saw eye shine, something peeking out from behind a tree. And I took her FLIR so I could see also, but all I could see was tree mice, little mice, field mice, deer mice, running around and climbing up and down the tree and so on. Unfortunately, that's all that I saw. Todd mentioned, though, that he saw something. He didn't see something peeking out, but he saw a heat signature on the side of a tree that was possibly the same one that she was talking about. But she spotted it twice, where something was peeking out and from behind a tree. Okay, Patty. Here, I'll highlight that. Tara saw something move beside a tree when she was sitting on your truck. Yeah, there were, I did, before dark, since that was my campsite, and that was so pretty back there. It was old growth forest, beautiful. And especially with the storms, there were tree limbs coming down, huge tree limbs. You could hear the thump, and occasionally, you could feel it whenever these huge tree limbs would fall down, but they were falling down, fortunately, way back there. Not on me or my van, thank God. But but occasionally I would catch just a real quick glimpse of movement. I couldn't make out anything. It was just, just a quick flash of movement way back there, and really couldn't see or make out anything. But Tara mentioned that it was possibly spirit back there, a couple spirits. So who knows? It may have been former explorers, natives from way back. Who knows? Who knows? What it could have been. God bless you, Mid-South Sasquatch. God bless you. That's wonderful. Congratulations. That's fantastic. We'll keep you in our prayers for continued Memphis. You mentioned Memphis. I haven't been following the conversation, but I see you mentioning Memphis. My sister and I visited Memphis. Oh, when was that? 15 years ago. Can't remember. My sister, Debbie, she is a huge fan of Elvis. And apparently it was a big anniversary that year, possibly the anniversary of his death or something, I don't know. So she needed someone to split expenses with. And while I'm not a fan, there's enough to see in Memphis, that, that way she could go to Graceland and do all of the Elvis conferences and speeches and speakers and so on and so forth. That way she could do that. And I took all kinds of different tours, all over Memphis. It was wonderful. I had a good time. Beautiful city. I'd love to go there again. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Kraken. Yeah, I contributed teeny tiny, to making things out and just giving an opinion. That's about all I did. But all I know is what I saw on that video is fantastic. Like I say, groundbreaking, historic to me, in my opinion. Congratulations, Mid-South. Congratulations. I know it's a long, hard road. My son suffered from addiction, and I know it's hard. Let's see, what was I talking? Oh, Memphis. Anyway, all I can say is, what is it? Beale Street. Had a great time on Beale Street. The barbecue. There was one barbecue place there. Mixed something. There were goats in the yard, I think. Loved the barbecue in Memphis. That's what I can say. There was one restaurant we went to. Apparently had all kinds of autographs on the walls and photos of famous people and so on and so forth. A friend of ours treated us to dinner at that barbecue restaurant, but I wasn't impressed with it. I found I preferred the one place on Beale Street a little bit more. But personal opinion. That and there's a couple. I think they were on the cooking channel. A black couple, husband and wife. They owned a barbecue restaurant outside of Memphis. Can't remember the name of it. Oh, I really enjoyed their cooking at their restaurant. The fried pickles, oh my, so good. So good. I love good barbecue. I'm a sucker for it. Well, Mid-South, whenever we all find ourselves in times where we need support for one reason or another, and it's fantastic, fantastic to have, to find a support system. And I know we all thank good people. There are a lot of good people here in the chat, and I thank God for all of them also. A lot of them have helped me through different times in my life that that were hard, and we all can appreciate them. Good people here. We're all good people, and that's the way we should be. Support each other. Well, guys, I'm getting tired. I'm still going through some doctor's testing and so on. Still have some more to go through. It's a journey, and so I'll keep all of you in my prayers, because I know that's one reason, one of the reasons why I'm here also, that we have a prayer chain here, that we keep each other in prayer. And if any of you, anyone, if you are in need of prayer, just give a brief, thank you, Ken. Just give a brief little sentence saying, pray for me. You don't have to go into detail. You don't have to say, anything in particular. Just please keep me in your prayer, or pray for me. Or you can even send me a private message. Send me. Oh, thank you, Gary, and thank you, Jean. Anyone can message me privately. If you have something you need to, just a private prayer request, just to talk, I'm here. We can, we're all friends here. We support each other. Oh, thank you, Sherry. That's what we're here for. It's not only about Bigfoot. It's not only about the paranormal. We're all on this journey together, whether it's for particularly Bigfoot, or any other aspect of the paranormal, that we share that same interest. And I think most of us are Christians. Oh, Patty, that's tomorrow. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me highlight your congratulations. Oh, Patty, you're always in my prayers anyway. Yeah, we love you. We love you. Yeah, you and Ron, you guys, I think you have a special relationship. And I'll leave it at that. You know, we love you. You're a special lady. So yes, happy anniversary. Wish you and I could go to a Chinese restaurant again up in Erie for your anniversary. Hopefully Ron takes you out for your anniversary, wherever. But yeah, and maybe sometime we can meet up somewhere and go out. Trying to think, I don't know if, what's halfway between us, Meadville or Mercer, if there's anything. Yes. Oh my God, Mid-South, yes. Chinese buffets, yes. Barbecues also. And in the past 10 years, I've discovered sushi, and I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but yes, I do like sushi. But tell you what, guys, it's almost 10 o'clock. Aw. Patty, he plans on retiring soon. Patty, he will be spending all his time in the garage. So I think you'll be safe. It's hard. Yeah, Lou retired in 2020. And, whenever your husband works construction, road construction, heavy machinery construction, whatever aspect, they have long hours, and they're gone from early morning until into the evening. So Patty, Ron will be spending a lot of time in the garage, and he'll be occupying himself with other things. So I think you're safe. But no, I thank God for Lou. God bless me. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. And which reminds me, again, unfortunately, because of my health, I will not be able to attend the Tennessee Wildman and Cryptid Festival on August 16. I do have my ticket that I'm willing to sell. It's a VIP ticket, and you'll be with a group of Mark Cryptid Search Investigations, Erica Black, and Chad Black. They're the group of 3, and mine makes 4. So the 3 of you will need to be together. So if you're interested in purchasing the VIP ticket, hit me up. let me know. I paid $50. So let me know if you're interested, and we'll go from there. All right. So I think that's it. Let me check my calendar for next week's show. I don't think, but I'll look to see if I have anyone scheduled. July 2nd. I have no one scheduled. Yep. Nope. The month of July is empty. So if you're interested in coming on the show, hit me up. Oh, okay. Mark, you might have to sell yours also. Okay. Well, guys, hit both me and Mark up, and we'll go from there, for the tickets. And I'll have to work on getting some guests for next month, it looks like. I've been busy with other things. Okay, Mark. Yeah. Same here. But I'll keep you in my prayers. Okay, guys. We will see you next week, next Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Brian, for being such a fantastic guest. So fascinating, such a fascinating history that, he's on 40 years. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, if you know anyone who would be interested in coming on, tell them to contact me. But yeah. Yeah, I will work on maybe not next week, but sometime maybe in August, get both Brian SEECH and Fred Saluga on. There's a few guys that are on here. Greg, I would love to get Greg on. I think I had Greg on here once before. Yeah, I did. I think near the beginning. I'd love to get Greg on again. A few other people I'd love to get on. But thank you, Mark. Yeah, tell your peeps to contact me, and anyone else, if you're interested in coming on and talking about your research, about your experience. It doesn't have to be about Bigfoot. It can be about UFOs. It can be about ghosts, which we'll talk about it. Yeah, any other cryptid. All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next Wednesday. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project Monkey Wench podcast. So good night, all. Love you. God bless. And Monkey Wench out.